Hey everyone, just wanted to thank you all for joining us last night. Had a really good live chat room. Once again, I think we got up to about 20 people at one time, even with some of the weird things that happened with the YouTube. I'm not sure why. Had a bunch of people waiting for the live stream, and as soon as I go live, it creates a whole nother stream. I don't know. I'm not sure what happened with that. Technical difficulties, I guess. But we went over a lot of theories, and I think there were some that we probably could have condensed into other theories, or some that could have been sub-theories. But overall, I thought it was a really good call, and then again, a really good live chat room of people discussing this case, because apparently we're not supposed to. We're just supposed to stop talking about it and act like everything is fluffy clouds and rainbows. But I don't think people who joined us are going to accept that. And I think there's probably a lot of other people out there too that are not going to just say, okay, well, the police said this and that's it, you know. One of the one that won the most, it got up to, I looked today and it's up to 53 votes. It was at 48 yesterday, I think. So it's kind of gone up a little bit. And that was the theory that David and family were killed by somebody that they knew. I was not really expecting that, but that was an interesting number. So that's what people are very, very open to. And I think the behavior of certain people that knew David has only increased that. And really, that might have been where it all stemmed from, is how their behavior was, how they acted towards people who were asking questions, going after them, telling them to stop asking questions, to stop looking into it. I think for us stubborn people, it just made us want to look a little bit deeper. And so we did, and we still do, and we still will. So I'm going to think of some topics for next week's show. And if anybody has any ideas for what some of those topics should be, sorry, I'm just going to try to adjust that. If anybody has any ideas for what some of those topics should be for next week's show, please let me know here. When I create the poll, every member of the Justice for David Crowley and Family Facebook group, every member of that group should be able to add in their own choices of whatever they think the next topic should be. So I've just been sitting here trying to think of different topics, and maybe I'll look at some of the topics from the last poll, and we'll use some of those possibly. But we'll see what our choices are. I think one of the topics I might put in there is to read a chapter from my book, The Gray Stage by Greg Fernandez Jr. Looking forward to that. Today I will make the final payment on the cover work. I have been going through it over and over again, looking for anything, any typos, anything like that, any grammar errors, spelling errors, whatever, all that stuff. See if there's anything wrong. The alignment of the way some of the photos are, and I have a color copy. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if the color copy is going to be, meaning that the images inside of the book are in color, and it's not the best color, so I don't know. Wasn't really too happy with the way that some of the images turned out in the book, but I think I will make that one of the options, is to read a chapter from the book. I think that might be an interesting show as we wait for a few other things to take place. Hopefully we'll have some new updates at some point. I know that Sophia and Catherine are going to be working on a video as well, I believe, about the handwriting, if I'm not mistaken. And then if everybody hasn't, if you haven't checked out Dan Hennon's latest video on item 57 with the reenactments, which is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting to see Dan Hinnon reenact some of the stuff about the blood wall, where the bullet was, all that stuff. It's really an interesting video. So make sure you go and check that out at Dan Hinnon's YouTube channel. And then, of course, we'll probably have the replay this evening of last night's show. We'll have the replay on my main channel, since I can't go live on there still. That should be coming to an end very soon, so I'm looking forward to that. We'll see how all of that goes. Another thing, one last thing, I guess, here while we're driving on the freeway. My wife told me to drive safe when I do this. I got my Star Wars cup that my sister gave to me for Christmas a couple years ago. Still a Star Wars fan, will always be a Star Wars fan. Episode 3, if you haven't seen Star Wars Episode 3, it is all about a false flag. So it's one of the best Star Wars movies ever, but obviously not as good as the first 3. Anyways, one last thing I wanted to talk about here would be I want to know what people's thoughts are on the spiritual, the paranormal aspect of this case, and what is your thought on mediums? Should mediums be taken seriously? I know we've had a few mediums look at this case. I believe at least 2 or 3 mediums publicly look at this case. What do you guys think? Is having a medium on a show as a guest or something, is that something that we should do? Should I not waste my time with it? It's going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of opinions. I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole either, but you just go wherever God takes you. So I'm curious to know everybody's view on mediums involved in this case. Can they help? I mean, it can't hurt, right? I don't think it would make the situation worse. I don't care if people think that we're not credible because we are listening to mediums and taking them seriously. At the same time, a lot of that stuff is going to be hard to prove by itself. But maybe we'll get some good leads out of that. I think that's always possible too. You might get a good lead. 1 or 2 good leads is all you really need. So I'm curious to know what everybody thinks about the mediums, what if there's any value in that. And then it was also brought up to think about getting a demonologist, and I think that is a great idea. I don't know any, I haven't researched any, so if anybody has any suggestions on who we might be able to contact, to reach out to, and see if we can share some of the demon aspects of this case and see if they think it falls into that realm, or if there's nothing there, I guess, either, what their view is. So curious to know what everybody thinks about those two. Otherwise, don't really have too much more to say right now. Hopefully, I am looking at December and maybe even January for the book to come out. I don't think it would be ready by November, by the end of November, as I had really hoped. I could probably push it out, but I just want to make sure that everything is right. So we'll see about that. But as soon as it's ready, I will put out the free link on the graystage.wordpress.com. That's where you'll be able to get the free download. And then, of course, if you want to purchase it, we're looking at some different purchasing options: Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and then, of course, maybe some local bookstores, things like that. So just wanted to give a quick update on all that. Thank everybody for joining us last night. looking forward to next week, and hopefully we'll have some good topics. So we'll see. Maybe I'll maybe one of the polls, I'll put all of my chapters on a poll and see which one people want us to read live on the next show and talk about. So looking forward to that. God bless you all. Have a great day. I'm going to go ahead here and sit in traffic and drink this coffee and try to balance my life and make sure that all of my focus is focused on Jesus Christ, that I go wherever he leads me to. Not be scared, not have fear, and to stay sincere and stay truthful in everything that we do. To be honest, to be humble, and that's all that I can do. And hopefully we'll have some new developments that I've been waiting for. Hopefully they'll be coming soon. We'll see. All right, everybody. God bless you all. Have a great day.